Hey, what's up, guys? Welcome back to Couples Chronicles with your boy, Lloyd.
And Afiya.
So I'm going to let her take it in. Thank you for joining in today.
All right, so guys, we're going to kick things off. I want to know, or most women want to know, why is it that women are deemed too strong, too masculine, or too difficult when they have an opinion or have a strong point of view?
Well, first of all, it depends on your audience. Like, as you guys know, we're married. And the one thing I've always told her, people that know me know that I love strong women.
Yeah.
So women who have their own opinion, have their own viewpoints, that's exactly what I want. I want somebody that kind of, yes, we're married and we think alike, but I want somebody that could also offer me a different perspective on most situations.
But I feel like most men, when females, have a strong point of view, they feel like, they're challenging the man. They feel like, the man somehow feels small in one capacity or another. It's not always embraced, is what I'm saying.
And you're absolutely correct. I think that, like a lot of my topics, I refer back to a man's ego.
Yeah, it's definitely 100% ego.
Yeah, men have a lot of ego. So some men are small themselves, to be honest with you. Like they want or they don't want a woman to challenge them for whatever that reason is. Maybe they're not strong themselves. I'm a very strong and very, I'm a very strong and confident man. I don't find, let's just call it challenge for sake of conversation. I don't mind when you challenge me as long as you're able to receive and listen to my perspective again. So if you can't receive me, then I think that's where the tension would come up.
So you feel like most men feel like it's just their ego talking. It's not necessarily like, that a woman's point of view isn't equal to a man's point of view. It's just more so like a man feeling like he has to lead or like his voice has to be more dominant to that of the woman.
Yeah, I think this just trickled down from time.
Okay.
From how society has been built and created, man on top, women. You know me. I always tell you, we come from a very, we're both Christians and we're Baptist. I'm Baptist. You're Baptist as well, I believe. No, you're
AME.
AME, sorry.
You see, 5 years of marriage and he still don't know. I knew
that. It's the same thing, really. It's the same thing in that sense. But where, in the biblical terms, they always say like the man is the head of the household, which I believe. But that don't necessarily mean, I think a lot of people a lot of men take that and run with it, right? And you have some women that believe it word for word. I think
they do.
Yeah, some people use it for. I think for me, I'm not gonna talk for every man. For me, it's having enough strength to also allow the woman to have an opinion or even lead in areas that she's stronger in.
Right.
So head of the household don't necessarily mean you have to do what I say. So I think it's been like trickled. It's been just
trickling down.
Yeah, from generation to generation to generation.
Or even from the Bible.
Even like America is a very misogynistic place. Like this is
100%.
the world we live in.
Yeah.
So.
But what's so funny is that I feel like most men, like when they have a strong woman behind them, they themselves are stronger. Like, and just individually as a unit, like I don't know. Like I think of, for me, when I think of all strong women that have voices, even my mom, my parents have been married for 36 years. Like my mom is a very strong woman. My grandmother's very strong. My grandmother was married for 26 years. Like, like I don't take that strength as a form of emasculating men, but for me, even us sitting here right now, right? As the podcast is growing and as we're growing an audience, a lot of people feel like, oh my God, like Afiya is so strong, like, yeah, like that. I've gotten that feedback. And it's just like, people that are from where I'm from Brooklyn, if you didn't know, like, they come to my defense. I love y'all, and they're like, no, like she's not too strong. She's not too masculine. She's from Brooklyn. Like she's passionate. Right. And for me, that passion defines who I am. And, it's just interesting to see how people receive what I'm saying, or some men, right? Men that don't know me.
It was a man
that
commented.
Right. He's like, oh, like, she's too masculine. And everybody came to my defense. And I love you guys 100% because, this podcast has kind of like opened up the conversation, to not only challenge myself and my viewpoints, but kind of open it up for me to hear other people's viewpoints. So I think even for myself, I'm like, wow, like, I'm a model. I've never been called anything relatively masculine in my life. So for somebody to have that opinion of me the moment that I open up my mouth, it's a complete drawback. It's completely like, why would you feel that way just because I have a strong viewpoint on this?
So like I said, that's case in point. the situation of the man ego and how he perceived your strength. And I remember when it happened, I just simply responded. And by the way, we love your responses and comments. Please,
you guys are doing awesome. Like you guys are like awesome. Like men, women, you guys are coming. You're coming in a positive way. You guys are chiming in and strong, and I appreciate that.
I remember he was like, I've been following you for a while, Lloyd, and I just feel like your wife comes off, or Afiya, I forgot how he posed it, comes off very masculine. I simply just replied and said, don't confuse her strength with masculinity. She just what's the word?
Masculinity.
Masculinity. I'm having a tongue tie, sorry. But I just simply said, I love her strength. And, and thank you for your comment.
And all my other followers was like, F out of here, don't come for Afiya.
It is what it is. But, man, to answer the question directly, I think it just comes down to men egos and not being strong enough, like I said, to embrace a woman who has, I won't even say an opinion because everybody have an opinion, who have strong opinion.
I also feel like sometimes men feel, intimidated when they didn't think about it first. I think if an idea comes up and a woman, she thought about it first, she presents the idea first, it's almost like, this drawback. Like, what do you mean? Like, like you said, also to their ego, it's a drawback to it because it's like, what do you mean? Like, I didn't think of that first. Like, I don't know. Like, I just think some men genuinely feel like, their thoughts and opinions and entire demeanor is supposed to be superior to that of a woman. And it's just not true. Like, I think for me, when I think of the Oprahs, the Michelle Obamas, the Tracee Ellis Ross, the Gabrielle Union, I can go on. The Ciara. Ciara is bomb. She's a wife. She's a mother. She has 4 children. I'm
not quite sure.
4 children and pending. Like,
I'm not quite sure.
Russell is the man. Okay,
4 or 5.
But like when I think about all these amazing strong women, like I think they add so much value to their partners, and whether they're with a husband or not, like they themselves are strong enough to carry a village, and the village that supports them and grows with them. It's amazing to witness and follow, and it's, for me, it's inspirational to myself as well.
Like for me, it's a turn on for me. I love strong women. That was one of the things, that attracted me to you. It was like, I remember one of our first encounters, you kind of like, I don't think your intention was to check me.
Not that I checked
I don't know if it was a check, but it was kind of like, this is what you're doing. I was like, I ain't gonna talk about the situation, but this is what you do. I was like, okay, cool.
Yeah.
I don't mind it at all. But to the women out there, I have a message for you guys. Don't settle for a man who you can't be, can't have your own opinion for.
Yeah.
Like
don't allow a man.
There's men out there that like strong women.
Yeah.
And
So you would say your advice to women, that are dealing with this is to not settle? Because I do feel like in some relationships, people feel like their voice has to be silenced in order to make a man feel strong in some instances.
So that was my point. Don't let anybody versus, anybody dim your light.
Yeah.
If that's, I've given that advice to numerous women who have strong personalities. And my advice is always to them is to find somebody that accepts that
and
embraces that, because you're going to be the one suffering in the long end, trying to just stifle.
And if it doesn't work out, I feel like the woman's going to be like, I've been waiting my whole life to tell you about yourself right now. Like, I feel like if the relationship don't work out, she's going to be like, oh, I've been holding this back. Let me tell you about yourself. Like, I'm telling you, like, it doesn't end pretty when you hold your tongue in a relationship. I feel like it's only a matter of time before it's just like, you know what? Like, let me tell you how I feel. Like, it's only a matter of time. Honestly, in my opinion. That's why I always say you always have to over-communicate in a relationship. You're never going to have to figure out how I feel. You're always going to know. Whether, how I communicate that has definitely changed, right? Yes. Whether that be me writing down how I feel before I bring it to you. But I do think, like, over-communicating, I'm never going to hold it back, especially as somebody that has struggled with anxiety. It's like, no, like, I'm always going to be forthcoming about how I feel. Because the only person that's going to end up hurting in the long run is me.
Yourself. Yep.
Yeah, like, I'm
honest with yourself.
Yeah, that's the perfect way. I always have to be honest with myself first.
Awesome. I think that was a good first chronicle. Good transition point as well. Let me start number 2. Second chronicle of the day. What is the fine line between being polite and being too friendly when in a relationship?
See,
I'll let you start there.
Yeah, because we've had this conversation
conversation
many of times.
Sides of the rainbow.
Yes.
Go ahead.
No, okay, so my husband is the type of guy that likes to go out and buy everybody drinks. We're not doing that. Stop. Time out. Wait, bring it back. My husband is the type of person that likes to go out and buy everybody drinks. I feel like you're my man, you're my husband. There's no need to buy Tom, Dick, and Harry or Sarah, Jessica, and Molly all drinks. There's no need, like absolutely no need whatsoever.
We don't
like
have any friends named Sarah Jessica.
Yes, but you get my point. I feel like you're like, what friends are you talking about? Like, but I'm serious. Like, you're such a, polite person, and you're the type of person that if you're drunk, you want everybody to be drunk with you. So like, knowing how you are, like, I completely understand. But I think for me, I had to be very vocal about, no, like, there's no need for you to buy everybody drinks here. Like, you're my man, buy me a drink, that's it. Maybe my mom sometimes, maybe my auntie, maybe even my grandma, but like, that's the extent of it. It's not necessary for you to be polite to all these people. They got a man, let them go get their man.
So the question was, what's the fine line between me? First of all, I would like to consider myself a friendly person. I'm a very outgoing person. She can tell you a story that says different. I'm very outgoing, but when we first met. But not typically, I'm a very outgoing person. I'm a friendly person. So, I've learned to adapt to my wife's perspective. But like, if we out and we're meeting your friend from out of town for drinks, let's say it's just 3 of us.
Okay.
Right? And we out for drinks, there's drinks. And the bill ain't crazy, I want to handle the bill. I think it's a polite thing to do. You feel like, that's what I'm saying. I feel like we out for drinks and the bill is like $200. I just pay the $200 bill.
I feel like if it's a one-time thing, okay. But there's no way you're going to go out with me and my man and expect my man to pick up the bill every time. He's not our man. He's my man. My man. Yes, he's my man. He's not our man. That's the confusion. And then when your friend be like, have you and your man ever thought about a threesome? You want to know why? Because you're sending mixed signals.
Because I pay the bill.
You're sending mixed signals. I'm telling you. And when you want to know why the friend becomes too friendly, like, you ever thought about, you ever thought about this? I'm telling you, no. It's like I said, if it's a one-time thing and you're out and you buy my friend a drink, sure. But it should not be something that is considered a norm. Absolutely not.
Okay. That's just one situation. Right? Another situation that we've had a conversation about, which I feel strongly about, is like, and we pose this to a couple of our friends just to kind of hear their responses as well. It's like a situation like door opening. So me and my friend had a conversation about a situation. He was like, I bet Afiya's not going to go for it. I'm like, no, I've done this before, and it's not a problem. So he basically said, if we're out in a restaurant or somewhere, and I see some ladies at the door, do I open the door for them? That's how he posed the question.
No, he said if we walk into a restaurant and there's women behind us.
Or in front of us, or coming out.
Okay, do you continue to
hold the door, open the door? To me, I'm from the islands, guys. I'm from the beautiful island of St. Thomas, Virgin Islands.
And I'm from Brooklyn.
We're a group of nice people. She's from Brooklyn. That's just the polite and friendly thing to do.
So
You're not crossing the line. My friend said it depends on how beautiful or attractive the other woman is. I'm like, no, there's no way I'm going to be coming through a door and there's a group of women behind me, whether they're fugly or beautiful or not. If they're right behind me, I just hold the door. You feel like that's being too friendly.
It's just not necessary. Where are these women, man? Where are they? No, where are they?
I'm not about to slam the door in their face.
It's not necessarily slamming the door, but their arms don't work.
They're right behind me.
Their arms don't work.
This is the same conversation we had.
Are they by themselves? Like, can they not open the door for themselves? This is what I'm talking about.
So what is that line?
But why do you need to hold the door for me and
because
them?
Because I'm polite and I'm a nice guy.
Yeah, see, this is where the line of polite and too friendly needs to be drawn. Because like I said, see, this is the thing. First of all, I have to give it to you from a woman's perspective. Women look for anything as a gateway to say your man want me. Let's be clear. Let's be honest here. Women look for anything, okay?
The woman perspective.
Yes, they do. First of all, if you so much as give them the slightest inkling that you feeling them, oh baby, they taking it and running with it. I'm telling you, it doesn't take much. You could open the door for them. First of all, let's say in the same night you open the door for them and bought them a drink. By the end of the night, they want to fuck.
Again, that's two different complete situations.
By the end of the night, they want to fuck.
Why am I opening their door and buying them drinks? It's two different situations.
But what I'm saying,
in what real world situation am I buying these strangers drinks?
No, I completely agree. Okay. But what I'm just saying, I say that to say it doesn't take much for a female to say your man want me. It don't. And women look for that. Women get off on that.
But you want to know what's even stronger? Is your man saying I want them. I don't want them, so it doesn't matter.
But my thing is, you don't even have to send those signals. It's not even necessary. What I'm saying is that out of respect for me, let's just not send those signals altogether, okay? Like, let's be clear before we leave the house on don't buy nobody drinks and don't hold the door for nobody but me. Simple. It's simple. How hard is that? That's like you saying to me, like, whatever. Like, if you, it doesn't matter. Like, whatever is important to you, and we talk about it and we discuss that before leaving the house, there's nothing wrong with that. I just simply don't think anything's wrong with don't buy nobody drinks besides me and don't hold the door for nobody besides me, except my mama.
I would say this. I have learned and adapted to the drink thing. I'm just that person. But I have, I know when and when not to do it. I'm just a giver. I like to give. But the door,
Hey, chime in.
Give to me.
I
got you. But the opening of the door and being polite and that kind stuff, gestures.
No, I can't.
That's naturally embedded.
Listen, I get it. I
do that to strangers at the train. If I'm catching the train, the door, I just hold. If they're like 2 steps behind me, I hold the door, man, woman, child, animal.
And I'm not trying to change that polite nature. I'm just saying that you should be aware of the fact that women look for anything to take as a signal as your man wants me. And so that I don't have to check nobody on my man don't want you. Like, let's just keep it PG. Let's just keep it real. Not that it's not PG, but let's just keep it a real sharp line where you don't have to guess if he wants you or not.
So, let's make a definitive answer the question. What is the fine line for you? For you, let's just talk for you.
For me, don't slide in nobody DM. Don't with no emoji. If you responding to a comment on Instagram, make sure it's like a fire emoji or a flat, no hard eyes, nothing funny
that
unless
could come off as flirtatious.
Yes, nothing that can come off as flirtatious
or misread.
Right? Like, don't be in nobody DM. Don't slide in under nobody's comments with nothing that remotely seems flirtatious.
What does all this stuff have to do with Instagram?
Wait, let me finish. Let me finish. Okay? Don't buy nobody drinks besides me and my mama and maybe my grandma. And a friend once, right? And a friend once. Okay? I'll let you slide on holding the door for other people. Occasionally. But if she cute, no.
If she's 5 steps behind me, I'm not holding the door.
Okay.
2 steps behind me, fine. I'm not slamming the door in her face.
Okay, so there we go. 2 steps, fine. 5 steps, let it go.
That's always been my thing.
Yes.
That's always been my thing.
Yes.
Women, I really want to hear y'all comments on this one. Because I want to know your perspectives. And men, because I really don't get it. I truly don't get it.
No, I feel, first of all, you know what's so funny is that I've heard this exact question from a man's perspective, and they damn near want the woman to be disrespectful. Seriously, they want their girl to be disrespectful. Situation? Like, men don't want another man to be like, yeah, your girl want me. Like, they don't want that. They want to be like, yeah, my girl gave you like the fuck you, get out my face vibes. They like that. I'm telling you, I've had this conversation with guys before, and they like to feel like the women almost was cold. Like, almost like, damn, what's her problem? To another man. Like, they like that.
I guess. Your husband is not like that.
Yeah.
Let's transition. Are there any activities you shouldn't be doing by yourself when in a relationship? And again, guys, this is a topic that we've had outside of this, which I think is funny. Okay. But I'll let you start.
The movies.
This is a big thing.
First of all, why are you going to the movies by yourself if you're in a relationship?
Because, like for us, I'm going to be specific. you don't like scary movies, right?
So you can watch it at home on the Fire Stick for free.
By that time, it's already too late. I might want to catch the...
So you don't think that going to the movies by yourself sends a message that you're single?
No. It sends a message that I like movies.
No, I disagree. If I go to the movies with a group of girls and I see you at the movie by yourself, I'm going to assume that you're single. I am. I'm assuming he's single. I'm going to assume what woman in her silly mind would send her husband to the movies by herself to be picked up by other girls?
I don't think that's a meeting place for
You don't think so?
No.
You know why?
Nobody's
you know why? Because you're not. You know why?
Together.
Because you're not single.
Maybe in high school.
You know why? Because you're not single.
Maybe in high school. That's what
single people think about those things like, where can I pick up a man?
Nobody's
Yes, they do. Girl, they think about that all the time. What, like, where can I find a man? You know what? The movies.
High school is the only situation, the only time period in a person's life where I feel like you went to the movies to try to holler at a girl. That's the only time I can remember in my life.
So you don't feel like people really meet at the movies?
No. Me going to the movies is me in the middle of the day. I just came from the gym in gym clothes. Or I want to see this new movie.
But you know who you would meet? I'm going
to the gym.
Do you know who else?
Yes, I know who I meet. The actors on screen.
No.
That's the people I'm going to go meet at the movies.
Who else you would meet?
I don't know.
Other single people that don't have anybody to go to the movies with.
No.
So they go to the movies by themselves.
Other people who enjoy a good movie. That's who is going to be in the movie. Laughing and kicking and eating popcorn at 12:30 in the afternoon.
No.
Catching the cheap matinee.
No.
That's who you go for.
Do you know why they're going by themselves? Because they're single.
Because their partner is at work?
No, because they don't have anybody to go with. Because if they had a partner, they would wait for the partner to get off work to go to the movies together.
I remember when I was in a long-distance relationship, I used to go to the movies by myself all the time.
Were you faithful?
Yes. I mean, yes. I didn't think about it. Yes.
Yeah?
What do I have to do with the movies?
Because...
I never picked nobody up at the movies, if that was your question.
No, my question is... Okay, do you not feel that people pick up people at the movies?
Negative.
You don't feel like the movie theater is the perfect place to meet somebody?
Negatory.
You don't feel like people perform sexual acts at the movie theater?
Yes, who are couples.
Really?
Yes.
Only couples?
Yes.
Only couples?
Or they're on a date. Two single people don't hook up at the movies.
Oh, okay.
That's never happened. What other activities can you see yourself? Like going to the bar, going to the bar by yourself, we do that randomly, depending. If I'm working, you're working. I want to go eat, I grab a drink. That's fine. What other activities do you think you can't go by yourself? Like a spa. We was at her birthday. Her birthday was last week. Happy birthday to my wife, guys. You could wish her if you don't follow her.
I wish I had.
We was at the spa, and I love a good spa, and I think she love a good spa. So I don't know why. We always thinking about questions, and I asked her, "Would you be mad if I told you I was going to the spa by myself?" And what was your answer?
I think, you know what? Yes. And I do feel like this is one of those things that's a double standard. I would be the first person to say
I would send her to the spa by herself any day of the week.
And I do genuinely believe that these are one of the things that is a double standard. You okay? And I will be honest and truthful about that. I don't know. I feel like it's another one of those things.
That single people are going to the spa to go hook up. That's in the deep. That's what you feel.
Imagine, right? Like imagine I see this beautiful man at the spa and he's just in the jacuzzi by himself, and I'm like, you know what?
Well,
and
first
I'm
of all,
single.
You're married, so you see this beautiful man at the jacuzzi by himself.
And I'm like,
you keep him by himself.
But if I was single, I'm talking about from a place of if I was single, and now I see this beautiful man at the spa by himself, in the jacuzzi by himself, or even let's say like sunbathing by himself with his shirt off or in a robe looking all like glistening and oily. It just,
I think you've seen
you know,
this
like I am in a movie.
Yeah, I don't know. You get into detail. But go ahead.
In a movie. But I just feel like, you know, I don't know. I think it's an avenue and an easy way to say, how are you? Can I join you? Have a coffee, sit next to you. And next thing you know, you guys are conversing, you know, and the jacuzzi is, you know, it can be very intimate. It could be very sexual. If I'm in a bikini, you're in, you know,
but
trunks.
Listen to what you're saying. First thing you said that you are a single woman and you saw this guy. Again, you don't know if this guy is single, but you're single.
And if
that's
I'm
why
single,
you're approaching
I'm going to try.
So now, what if the glistening, attractive man is me? And I'm married.
Yeah.
What do you expect me to do?
I expect you to not go to the spot by yourself.
No, you expect me to be able to handle that young lady and say hi, bye. And if anything gets done appropriate, I'm married.
But like, transparently, I would feel severely uncomfortable if I saw you at the spot in the jacuzzi with another woman. I'm going to be honest. I have to be honest with myself and say that. Like, I'm not going to sit here and say it's something that, I would be okay with, or that if I saw it, I would be like, oh my God, like, okay, like, no, like, that's not me. I'm going to be like, why the fuck are you in this jacuzzi with this girl, half naked woman?
So
stop playing with me.
I run a fitness company, and my company, a lot of my work is physical as well. So I go get massages. I love massages. You have no problem with me going and get the massages, which I think is a more intimate setting. I'm in a room with one person, half naked, not even half naked, 90% naked, getting rubbed on. And I'm putting thoughts in her head right now as we speak. 90% naked, getting rubbed on. You don't think that's a crazier situation than going to the spa where it's a public and there's 50 people in the area?
I don't know. Somehow, Mei Ling, just,
Mei Ling?
I know where you get your massages at. Mei Ling, Chinese lady, like, I don't know. She doesn't make my antennas go up.
Personally, so let me answer the question directly.
Mm-hmm.
Understanding your partner and having a level for respect for them, there shouldn't be any activity that you should not be able to do.
Okay.
If it's not infidelity, if it's not, again, perspective of it, I'm going to say disrespect, but what you view as disrespectful might be different than what I view as disrespectful.
Right.
So anything that I think that's, again, respectful and not infidelity, I don't think there is not a situation. I posed this question to you earlier, like,
that's a lie.
But I pose it like if your cousin got married,
that's a lie.
That's a lie. I'm lying.
No, I said that's a lie.
That's a lie.
When you think about it, like, what is the fine line between?
I think it's I think the line here is trust.
Okay, so but my thing is like, so just because I trust me or I trust you, that means that I should put myself in situations that would make you feel uncomfortable, because that's what you're saying.
No, that's what you interpret. I'm saying there shouldn't be an activity on this planet that I should not, I hate to say not be able to. You know how I feel about that word, not be able to.
Yeah. You feel like yes or no.
I should be able to do anything I want to do with respect to my partner. I even posed this to you. I said, what if your cousin got married and you guys said y'all was going to the strip club?
Yeah.
I let you go, have no problem. I'm sleep at night. You're gonna come home from your night at the strip club.
Right,
I'm
but
you also
gonna
be like, you ain't call me, you ain't wake up for me. I'm gonna be like, you good, I trust you.
Right, but it's okay, because you also have to understand from the perspective of, people in relationships that do trust their partners that are not okay with that too, right? There's nothing wrong. That doesn't mean that you don't trust your partner. It's just, hey, look, I don't feel comfortable with you in that particular situation. Like, it's nothing wrong with that. It doesn't mean that you don't trust your partner. It doesn't mean you're going to get a divorce. It doesn't mean, right? It just means like, hey, like, as my wife, no, I don't want you at the strip club. Hey, as my husband, I prefer that you not be in the jacuzzi with another woman in her bikini. There's nothing wrong with that. That doesn't mean I don't trust you. It just means, hey, like, it's okay to have these conversations and discuss what we both are not comfortable with and respect that. It's nothing wrong with respecting that. It doesn't mean that I don't trust you or you don't trust me. It's just mean like, hey, listen, I'm not okay with that. I'm not comfortable. That could even boil down for some women to clothes, right? Like,
clothes to wear. What
type of clothes? Like, some men are just
I'm very lax with that too. I'm just a different type of person.
No, 100%. But like recently, right? Like when my cousins were at my house, like my cousin's wife, she came to me and said, oh no, like, my other cousin would not be okay with me wearing that. Like, he would,
I was like, wear it. Yeah. If you're comfortable with it, I'm comfortable.
No, but when she pointed that out, and I'd never, I don't view my cousin as conservative in any respect, or at least not me. I'm his cousin, so of course he wouldn't show that to me. But to his wife, like, she made it very clear, like, yeah, he wouldn't be okay, with me wearing something like that. You know what I mean? So in that regard, does he think she's gonna go out and cheat on him? No, it's just, hey, I prefer for you to not wear clothes like that. I prefer for you not to, go to the movies by yourself. I prefer for you to not be in a jacuzzi with another woman in her bikini. Doesn't mean I don't trust you. Just means these are things that I prefer for you to not do. A preference does not mean that I think you're cheating or that I don't trust you. It just means make sure your wife don't go to jail and I don't got to check no hoe.
Well, I'm gonna draw the line there, since we can't come to an agreement on what's that line. You want to ask the last question? Or you want to do it since I have it up?
Let's see.
Who should come first?
Ooh, this is a good one. Okay, first of all, you guys saw on last week's episode, I cried. That was intense for me, and I also feel like even from a place of like purpose, I am taking the time to figure out like what like nonprofits, I should join, and like I'm in that season of my life where I'm defining like purpose and meaning, and seeing how I cried last episode, over talking about my son, I really stopped and thought like, wow, Afiya, like maybe this is like your calling in terms of like working with a nonprofit that supports mothers and helps mothers be better mothers, right? And for me, I just stopped and thought about, well, how can I find that balance in me being available to my son and also stepping into a charity or a nonprofit where I'm supporting others? Because seeing the way I was crying, I was like, oh my God, like this hit home for me. But bringing it back to the last chronicle, who should you put first in your relationship, your partner or your kids?
I've seen, let's first start. I've seen, different people viewpoints on this. And I think it's personal, first of all, right? It's very, very personal. I personally think it's an unfair question.
Yeah.
To ask.
100%.
Do I choose my partner over my kids? I can't even comprehend that question.
And I also think from a perspective of whose kids are they?
Well, let's just keep it.
I'm like, if it's not
single
right,
later.
If they're my kids,
yeah,
like you're always, most times a mom is going to choose her kids over the partner, especially if they're her kids and not his kids.
And you so yes, I think initially that's what a lot of women say, but I've heard like therapists and other pastors and stuff say first. The husband, that your husband should come first. Yeah. Like your kids don't lay in the bed with you. Yeah. You have to nurture your partner. They were there before your kids.
Yeah. And I think in most instances, that's easier said than done. Transparently, I think that on paper, this is another one of those things that like I think, as you may have saw in my response last week, it's easy to have the politically correct answer to say, right? But I think it's one of those things that's like, as a mom, that protective mama bear comes out. And this is one of those situations where it's like, what do you mean? Like, I'm not choosing anybody over my kids.
And ironic, I feel the same way as well. I feel like those therapists or the people I heard that asking me to choose. First of all, let's take it back. The kids didn't ask to be here. We made a conscious decision to create these kids. So it's our duty to protect them, these kids, bring these kids up, whatever you want. I put the kids first. That's not saying I love you less or I don't care for you less. Let's put it in an active situation. We're in a boat and the boat is going down. No. This is like, who do you think who would you want me to, as a mother, your first thought is, baby, go get Cairo. Yeah. Even not thinking about your life. That's your first and initial thought. And this don't have anything to do with kids, but I'm going to bring this story back because it just came to me. Me and my wife's family went on a, what you call that? It's not really a whitewater rafting trip. Yeah. And we laugh. We all have this picture up in our house because the picture and the story depicts two different depictions. In the picture, everybody is like cheesing with a raft. 5 minutes later, everything went to hell. Well, not me. I didn't think I was ever going to die.
I thought I was going to die.
Everybody thought they was going to die.
I went under the water. My head almost hit a rock. So I would never go back.
That's the point I'm going to make. So let's say first 5 minutes into that, after the picture, her brother went overboard. Flew off the back of the boat. We grabbed him. He got him back in. 5 minutes after that, my wife and her dad. First, I know everybody's like, y'all shouldn't be going on this trip. Y'all don't know what y'all doing.
This is a bad idea. Yeah.
Actually, the water was high at this time and more rough at this time of year. My wife and her dad went overboard. I'm on board. I'm holding her dad's hand and I'm holding my wife's hand at the same time, two opposite ends of the boat. I saw my wife's head go under the water. I told her dad, bye-bye. I let her dad go and went after my wife. That was my first initial thing. Like, I didn't love your dad less or didn't care about his well-being less. I saw my wife going underwater, head went fully underwater.
Yeah.
I chose to grab you. Her brother grabbed her dad. Everybody was fine. Well, everybody wasn't fine. Later on, her cousin went overboard downstream and her mom left limping, police report, everything. It was a bad situation. But like I said, if that was us in the boat with Cairo and Cairo flew off and you flew off, you would want me to go get Cairo.
Yeah.
So it's our job to protect our kids. I've heard the argument of these, or the side of these people who said, that they talk about, you know, nurturing you guys' relationship. I'm all cool for that. Let's work on that. But our job now is to raise this kid, help this kid survive, and help him with his next generation. I think the kid come first in mind. And I think you share it too, but I think the kids come first in this scenario. And it's a...
So basically what you're saying is I'm chopped liver.
No, I mean, it's a natural thing that happens. When Cairo was first born, I was chopped liver.
Yeah.
All your focus was on Cairo.
Yeah.
We have a new baby, needs food, needs sleeps. We got to get him to survive. I remember the first night we brought Cairo home. I woke up and he was choking.
Yeah.
I was scared more of anything. I don't think I've been more scared in any situation in my life than that situation. I just happened to, God just allowed me to wake up and he was choking and I guess vomit or something like that. He slept in our bed for the next. He's like, I never let him sleep by himself for a while. No, we let him sleep by himself now. He just comes in the middle of the night. But even that, they say, you know, some people draw the line, like they don't allow their kids to sleep in their bed at all.
Yeah.
I've heard two sides of that. I've heard, I don't know, the more casual side. I think it's the more casual side that says, don't, draw that line distinction between this is where daddy and mom sleep. You have your own bed. I've heard the psychological part about that from psychologists that says this is the time where the kids should sleep in the bed. Like there's certain energies that we pass to them.
Oh, I believe it. My son loves me.
Yeah, I've heard that.
My son tells me I'm beautiful. Every time I get dressed, he tells me, like, Mommy, you look so nice. Like, I genuinely feel that everything I'm pouring into him, he pours back into me, and he reflects it. Like, you can see, like, everything that I'm pouring into him, he reflects that, and it's like, wow, like, how are you becoming like this? It's like, I'm pouring it into you. And I think, it makes me appreciate my mom so much more. I saw this quote recently that I wrote it on Threads. I'm gonna go back to it, but it's like where you come from that shapes what you pour out. Mm-hmm. And I feel like I see that when I see Cairo. So it's a beautiful thing. And needless to say, if I'm chopped liver next to Cairo, I understand that.
Never,
I get it.
But I think it shifts. It also shifts with time. I think early on in the development of the kids, we need to put all our focus and energy into him.
Yeah.
When he gets a certain age, he becomes a little bit more independent. Then that time we've been. I think over the past year and a half, we've been more intentional about our time and doing stuff with us.
Well, he's at a good age now. Yeah. Our son is 3, so it's easier, to like. First of all, I think this is the first time in his life where I can leave him.
His 3-year life.
And his 3-year life. No, seriously, it took 3 years to get here. Where it's the first time where I can leave him and he's emotionally okay. Like, I think any other
he's
time.
Like, bye, open the door.
Yeah, it's
bye, see you soon.
Yeah, he's so excited. And I think just spend time with grandma. And, I think this is the first time. It took 3 years to get here. But I think for the first time, he makes it seem like, it's okay, Mommy, go ahead, go to Paris. It's okay, Mommy, go ahead, go to Cannes. It's okay, Mommy, I'm okay. And don't make me cry again. It's like that brings a lot of peace because the mom guilt is really a thing, and wanting and leaving your child and that separation anxiety that they make you feel. But to your point, I think a lot of women, especially if a child is not the partners, right? it's very difficult to find that balance.
Another dynamic.
Right. It's very hard to like find that balance between, making the child feel like they're included in what you guys are building, but also like, you're building with him. And that's why they completely say that, or it's said, or I believe, that if you're dating me, you're also dating my child, because, you're taking us both on. And, I would never want my son or anybody's child for that matter to feel less included. Especially if I'm building a future with someone else. But it's very difficult, I think, to kind of, especially in the beginning, I think as, you guys grow in the relationship, it becomes easier to find that balance between building with your new partner and catering to your child. But in the beginning, it's very difficult, right? Because essentially as a mom, like, and I always say this, like on social media, I'm a star. But in life, I'm a mom as fuck. Like, I'm a mom from sun up to sundown, and that consumes most of my life. What you guys see on social media is completely different, but it's a beautiful thing. It's called balance. But I think when you're dating, it's very difficult to, make the person that you feel that you're dating feel like your attention. You're giving them all of your attention when you're also conflicted at home, because you have this person that is requiring all of you, and you want them to still feel loved, and you want them to still feel like they're not losing their mom, but you also are trying to build this love life with this new person. And it's very difficult. It's very difficult sometimes to kind of do both.
Yep. Yep. Definitely. So I think, just to be clear, choosing our kids first.
Yeah. Okay. I think so.
I want to hear what you guys think. I know there's going to be a lot of different, viewpoints. It's an unfair question. I think it's personal, for each individual, and what I guess I don't know why you would choose somebody else over your kids. But we have a new segment. We're gonna try a new segment here today called the what?
The tea is hot, baby.
So we're gonna try to, do like one or two topics or trending topics. So one of the topics that's been trending recently, I'm sure if you haven't, is the Cam Newton interview with Corey Holcomb about they're not married, about his girlfriend, Jasmine Brown. I'll let you take it.
Okay, so for people that didn't see the interview, essentially he kind of just, in the interview admitted that, Jasmine was not the only person that he had, slept with
mm-hmm.
in the past 2 years that they have been together. And baby, was it trending. It has been all over Threads, TikTok, Instagram, like all over the radio. And, her response was...
She had a response? Yeah, I didn't see her response.
Yeah, she responded on Instagram. We could pull it up. But she responded on Instagram, and it wasn't... it wasn't news to her, essentially. She basically said that, he can talk to me about anything. And the message seemed to have been sent with love. It wasn't as if she was embarrassed, right? So in my opinion, I simply feel that there's no way that he could have possibly felt comfortable sharing that information if they themselves had not already talked about it, or if they themselves had not already come to some type of agreement for her to be okay with it. Because I don't know. I don't know him, but I just can't see him publicly sharing that information or even putting her in a position to be embarrassed without discussing it with her first.
I didn't see the entire interview. I saw that clip, like I'm sure most of us did. So the context of, how they got to that question, I think mattered a little bit. But from what I saw, Corey was trying to get him to say, not necessarily trying to get him to say, but asking him a particular question.
He was trying to pull his card.
Yeah, pull something from him. And I think I don't know, first of all, I do believe that some things should be kept in-house.
But the way he was not letting it go. Corey wasn't letting it go in the interview.
It's his podcast. Right. It's his interview. He could control it.
But you're
a person don't come on your podcast. Nobody come on our podcast and control our podcast, or come on the interview. You control it.
Yeah, and he could have shut it down. He could have been like, "Listen, this is a personal matter." I feel like Beyonce. He could have deflected.
He could have deflected. But that's
what he said. He said you're trying to deflect.
I'm gonna say yes.
He did say that. He said you're trying to
deflect.
I would have
said yes.
But I also think about it, right? Like Cam Newton's podcast, right, is it's pretty big at this point, right? And so a big part of the podcast community is building a community that's authentic, where they feel like you're being honest with them.
So that's the part I was gonna get to.
Right. And so I feel like a big part of why he answered the question, I mean, outside of it going viral like it did, was because he wanted for his audience to feel like he was being honest and truthful, which he was. And I just don't think, in my honest opinion, and after seeing her response, I can't see him putting her in that position without it already have been had a conversation with her, like an agreement. Maybe they're in an open relationship. I don't know. I'm not in their home. I really don't care. You know, like they're way out of my pay grade. Like I don't care. She's doing well. They have a beautiful daughter. They seem happy. Maybe she was embarrassed in that moment, but I don't know. I really truly don't know. I'm just giving him the benefit of the doubt and saying that I just really can't see him putting her in that position without having some type of agreement first.
So let me be clear. I don't think he should have said that. With that being said, I think he was trying to be honest and truthful. Yes. I think it's something that she knows.
Yeah.
Yes. But I don't think it's something that she wished that he would have
shared with the
world.
Shared
on his podcast.
Right. Sure.
I think it happened, and to show their unity, she addressed it and be like, "Hey, y'all could chill. I'm aware. Yes, I'm okay. I'm aware, and get off my back." And nor do I think it's gonna go further than this,
right? Because
again, people love the mess.
Yeah,
and they kept it clean.
Yeah,
they didn't make it messy at all.
No, neither one of them. And I,
that's something I would never do though. I don't nobody. Anything that happened in our private, in our home.
Yeah.
I'm smart enough to know how to either deflect if they said or trying to push a certain narrative, or not refrain from saying a particular thing that I deem as being private in our relationship.
Right.
Some things should
be private
and needs to be kept private.
Yeah, absolutely.
But the moment that you, like right now, we're opening ourselves. We share some personal stuff. We share what we want to be known, and we're as authentic as we can be. We share a lot of personal stuff, but there's still some stuff that needs to be kept in-house.
Right.
And the moment that you allow, in any social media platform, any platform, the moment that you allow this stuff to air, you invite people, and which is fine. So what I like is that they're able to take the crowd,
and I think
and be okay with.
For people that don't know,
and not get offended, offended.
And I'm getting offended, but
you would get offended for sure.
Like if you don't know me, I'm responding. Okay, I got time. Okay, so, but for Jasmine, she did another interview on the Deadass podcast. We love you guys, and she talked about being ahead of the curve as it pertains to being ahead of the media, right? Like knowing what the media is going to say about her, and kind of using it as a spinoff in some of her comedic scenes, and in a comedic relief type of way. So I think, from her perspective, I think she was 100% aware of the situation she was getting herself into. He has previous children. She's 100% aware of the type of guy that he is. And like I said, whether she wanted that information shared or not, I think she's in the know of the situation that she's in, and whether he's just opening that up to us, should he have is debatable, right? It's debatable,
I don't
right?
think it was necessary.
It wasn't necessary, but I think he's asking of people. He in some way, it's like you can't ask of people what you yourself are not willing to do. He's asking. He did an interview with Erica Mena, right? Like she was very honest. She was like, he asked her.
Nobody's
several.
You don't have to be honest.
Right? But there's a rawness. Is what I'm saying. There's a candidness. There's a rawness that I think he is trying to give to his audience, that he's also expecting from his guests, right? And also people that are tuning in, they want to know, they want the real answers, right? And so I think in that moment, had he deflected, had he kept it private, it's like, well, you're asking of people what you yourself are not willing to give. And I think it would have said a lot for the type of person that he is, or even the type of community that he himself is building, right? So to your point, was it necessarily the right thing to do? Maybe for him, maybe for his podcast, maybe for his brand, maybe for his show. For us, absolutely not. For somebody else, absolutely not, right? But I think I've seen a lot of his shows, and he asks some raw questions, like to ask he asked Erica Mena basically her, a smash or pass list of people that she's had sex with in the industry. That's very private. Like, who said that even the guys wanted it to be known that she had sex with them, right? And so I've seen his show, and like I said, there is a rawness and a candidness in a very kind of tactful type of way that he does things, and I think he did what was best for him.
Yeah, well, hopefully, not hopefully, if you guys didn't see that interview, watch it and let us know. I think that's our time today. I think that was another good episode we had. Let us know if you liked the new segment.
Yeah.
We're going to try to find, stuff that resonate with us too.
And things that come up every week, right?
Yeah,
like,
if anything that we want to talk about come up. But I think that's a good spin. Thank you guys for listening again. It's been great. Welcome. See you guys next time
on Couples Chronicles
with your boy Lloyd
and Afiya. Be sure to like, subscribe, and share, and follow us on social media.
Peace.